Of course, this kid hates the daytime. Who wouldn't want to stay up all night getting sucked? Color of the Night is more enjoyable than I expected. The central conflict of the show is less bad guy of the week and more of a deep internal struggle. While it has cool vampires at the center of its story, the plot remains grounded in reality. The protagonist desires the freedom that comes with the night. He's no longer emotionally moved by the happenings of his world and decided, you know what, I'm just gonna get out of the rat race. At 14! At fucking 14, this kid gets it already. At its core, it's a very relatable motivation. The average person's life is very average and not all that exciting. On some level, we all want color to our grey lives. While I have reservations about a kid leaving school, I do admire the conviction to say, this isn't working for me, so I'll bounce. I believe it's a strength that deep down we all desire. Due to the nature of the protagonist's goal, the show does feel very slow in the beginning. Like it is a slow burn. There isn't some immaculate action sequence at the beginning to hook you and build excitement for what's to come. So much of the show is carried by dialogue. Majority of the show is just the MC trying to navigate his emotions, and I think that's what makes him so relatable. Depending on your age, you're either asking yourself these deep existential questions or you've had moments where you did. I was worried at the beginning because I thought this back and forth dialogue would get boring really quickly, but they do switch gears in a sort of worlds collide way. Whether it's the vampires not condoning the relationship at first, or the MC's friends coming back into his life, it adds new characters in a natural way and provides new storylines that makes the story more interesting to pay attention to. And the thing that made me invested into this show was the stakes. It's one thing to say you'll achieve a goal, it's a totally more interesting story when you add in do this in a year or you'll die. This story is accompanied by a beautiful set of visuals. The art direction of the show is absolutely insane. The composition of each scene and shot feels like a landscape art piece, more than just a background. The color palette used is so beautiful and colors work so well to set the mood of the show and the scenes that are happening. From the first episode, you're drawn in by the richness of the scenes and how the night is displayed in a way that makes you say, damn, no wonder this kid doesn't want to go back to school. This place doesn't look too bad. It gives a great sense of what it's like to be engulfed by the night and how much of an escapism it can be for a person. Can't relate though, because some of us don't live in a country that's safe as Japan at midnight. The music serves as a great companion to the visuals. Every scene that had music in it, I would simply go, man, why does this sound like a banger? This combination is what happens when people come together and put their best foot forward. Now, the themes in the show. Naivety. I was happy towards the end when they addressed the naivety of the choice he wants to make. It's very easy to want something when it's still fresh and you haven't experienced the dark side of what comes with it. He looked at how shiny his life is and didn't even ask if he's comfortable with drinking blood for the rest of his life. What happens when the excitement you use to escape the life you hate becomes the boring norm? Just like the life you escaped, love. Throughout his search for more, we discuss love a lot. In fact, he needs to fall for a vampire for his dream to work. From the love you have for a friend to pure obsession over a vampire, so much so that you're willing to give up your humanity. It's a great exploration of how confusing it can get, especially for someone who's experiencing all of this for the first time. Even examples of how tricky it is when your desire for love is rejected. There's even dives into jealousy. It's also a gateway into the love that exists between friends, how life can just happen and the people you spent your entire childhood with turn into people you don't talk to for ages. That's just as natural as you get older. You just get too busy for certain friendship, and this anime sends the message that, you know what, it doesn't have to be this way. You can reach out your hand and say, we're still friends, right? And you can step up and fight for the people you want in your life. And for the horny boys, there's a lot of sexual innuendos and dangling dirty thoughts in front of us. But you know what? They package it in this, oh, he's a young guy going through puberty. Of course, he's a perv who stares at large milkers. Still crazy though. The season does end with a few unanswered questions that really could sell a new season, with new story threads. The world of the vampires, how much do we not know? The lady who can kill vampires, what's her background, and is the conversation she had with the MC really all there is to it? How exactly will the boy fall in love? Akun? This show has great potential to be a great cult classic. Like I said though, this show is a slow burn, so there will be a lot of people who don't have the attention span, especially in this TikTok era. All in all, not a bad way to spend an afternoon. Also, are we not going to talk about the age gap?